What's the lowest point you've ever experienced in your own life? Has it been rejection of a girlfriend? Has it been a divorce? Has it been your older brother stole the last cookie on the shelf? Well, what has it been? I'm sure that it hasn't been worse than the real life story of Chris Gardner. And that's the movie we're talking about today, The Pursuit of Happyness. He actually wrote a book, Chris Gardner did, called The Pursuit of Happyness that inspired the movie, and he actually co-produced it with Will Smith being the lead actor. Now, here are my 3 takeaways. Before we get into the takeaways, this is my number 1 movie that I recommend for every single entrepreneur and frankly for every single person because it inspires you to, lesson number 1, never give up. I mean, I'm just going to read the list of things that goes through the movie. And my purpose in sharing this isn't to give spoiler alerts, but it is to share the lessons that I learned so that you're like, wow, there's a lot of good lessons in here. I want to watch this movie for myself and become inspired. Here are the things that he has to go through. A homeless man steals his time machine. This guy thinks it's a time machine. It's actually this X-ray type of a thing. It's a thing before X-rays. It gets stolen twice from him. Second, his business fails because a new technology comes up and he's stuck with all these machines that cost thousands and thousands of dollars and he can't sell them because nobody wants to buy them, right? It fails. His wife ends up leaving him. He spends a night in jail. He has to do a formal interview without a collared shirt. He has paint all over his shirt, right? A guy asks him, hey, I need to pay for my parking ticket or parking pass. You have $5? He looks in his wallet. He only has $5 left. And the guy goes, oh, thanks so much. And takes the money right out of his wallet. He's like, that's my last $5. He gets kicked out of a motel. He has to live in a homeless shelter. And to top it off, while he's in this homeless shelter, he's sitting there and they bring a choir out and they start singing, Lord, don't move that mountain, right? They sing it a lot better than I do. But I'm sure if you've seen that scene, and if you haven't, you gotta watch it because it's like, man, how many times in life do we ask God or ask our family or ask whoever to move the mountains for us? Please, I don't want to be going through all these struggles and all these hardships. And you hear this song, Lord, don't move that mountain. Give me the strength to climb it. Wow. It just gets me emotional just thinking about the power that scene has, right? Lesson number 2 is he takes extreme ownership. So one of these hardships that he goes through, he's sleeping in a subway bathroom. I'm not talking about Subway sandwiches. I'm talking about the metro subway where the trains are going underground, right? Way worse than a Subway sandwiches. Maybe at least you could get some sandwiches at night if you're sleeping there. He's locked himself and his son in this bathroom because he has nowhere else to go. He doesn't have a home. He got evicted from the motel and he's at the darkest time. And you know what he does? He says, hey, son, look. And his son's all sad. He's like, oh, man, what are we going to do? He turns to his son. He's like, oh, my gosh. Did you see that dinosaur? He's like, dinosaur? He's like, oh, my. Watch out. There's a big dinosaur right there, T-Rex. And his son's like, oh, my gosh. We got to run. He's like, we're cavemen. We got to find shelter. And he makes it a whole adventure for his son. Even at his lowest of low points, he's sleeping in a subway bathroom. And he still makes it fun for his son. He doesn't get mad at him. Doesn't blame anybody else. But he makes it an enjoyable experience. Even when you're at your lowest of lows, right? And that's the whole point of this movie, is it's a pursuit of happiness. You're trying to achieve this happiness, right? And he explains in the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, why did they say life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? Why did they say life, liberty, and happiness? And he explains this concept throughout the movie. Well, that brings me to lesson number 3 is what is real happiness? In the movie, there are three distinct scenes that show real happiness. Number 1, he's going through these hard times. It's not very good. It's early on in the movie, and he goes past this building, and everybody walking in this building has these big smiles on their faces. They're happy, and he's like, man, why is everybody so dang happy? And he's not like mad at them. He's more like so confused of how they can have that happiness and he doesn't. And he stops one of them, which is an awesome lesson. Like, so you see that somebody has what you don't, ask them how they obtained it. He's like, man, what did you do to get working there and get me a double, right? And the guy starts talking with him and tells him how he can apply for the job, right? The second scene is he's at this 49ers game, right? He's selling these clients, and he gets to go to a 49ers football game with one of his clients. And all these guys have money. All of them are really well off, and he's trying to sell them. And he's sitting watching the 49ers game in box seats, so it's really nice seats. And he turns to the guy. He's like, hey, I'm so glad you gave me this opportunity. Here's our life insurance policy. And the guy's like, hey, just not right now. Just enjoy the game, okay? And he has this experience laughing with guys, having fun with guys, and realizes that money is a gateway into having that happiness. And it's very interesting because a lot of people, they have this weird relationship with money, and there's a lot of pessimism and a lot of shame around money and having money and that kind of stuff. Money makes you a bad person. And I think that this movie does an excellent job of showing both contrasts of when he doesn't have money and then when he finally does have money. And that's the final scene of the movie. He finally gets the job. He finally overcomes, and he says, this moment in my life is happiness. And what I see from this movie, how I analyze it, is you can be happy in both times. In your lowest of lows and in your highest of highs, right? And anywhere in between, you can have moments of this happiness. And with that said, when you have money, it gives you opportunities to do the things that you want to do in life. Giving an example, when he doesn't have money, he can't afford a home, right? How much time can he spend with his son? How much time could he spend with his wife? I mean, that was one of the main reasons that his wife left, was because he didn't have any time to spend with her, and their relationship was strained because he was spending all of his time trying to get money to afford a house and clothes and all that kind of stuff, right? And so, yes, you can have happiness in those moments when you're at your lowest of lows, and you don't have the freedom to do what you want to do when you have money, right? And like Robert Kiyosaki says, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he says, you'll always have money problems, right? You'll either have money problems because you don't have enough money, or you'll have money problems because you have too much money, right? And it's not like, oh, I need to get rid of my money. You just have new problems, right? People want to take your money. People want to sue you. You have new opportunities that you have so much freedom. And let's say you go and waste all of it and you ruin your personal life because you have that freedom, but you don't know how to choose it, right? It's a complex issue. I highly encourage you. My challenge to you is go ahead, watch The Pursuit of Happiness. There's so many more takeaways I'm sure you're going to get from this movie. Here are just my top 3 that I loved. But go ahead, watch Pursuit of Happiness. The link is below. And in addition, my ongoing challenge is watch one inspirational movie a week. Okay? I know that you might be like, hey, I love watching the Barbie movie. I love watching whatever. Movies that have no significance in my life. And that doesn't really help you out, right? It might have a place, but I'm talking about watch one inspirational movie that makes you want to become a better person by the end of it. And I promise you that as you start doing this, after you start doing it a month, 2 months, 6 months, 12 months, that you will be so much more inspired that when those hard times come, you'll be able to overcome them. Until next time.